How the mighty have fallen. Hard. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Fancy Productions, and I am going to give you my review of the adult animated film from Sony Pictures and Netflix, Fixed. But before we get started, please leave a like, and at the end of the review, if you think I've earned it, please subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I post a new review. Now let's get into it. Created by Genndy Tartakovsky, and if that name sounds familiar, don't worry, I will get into it soon. Fixed tells the story of a horny little dog named Bull, voiced by Adam Devine. After spending most of his life being an uncontrollable nuisance that humps everything in sight, Bull realizes that his owners are going to get him neutered the next morning. So to have one last hurrah with his boys, Bull spends a night on the town with his best friends. Rocco, voiced by Idris Elba, Fetch, voiced by Fred Armisen, and Lucky, voiced by Bobby Moynihan. Along the way, he tries to win the affection of his lifelong best friend / girl pup next door, Honey, voiced by Kathryn Hahn. But is life with his ball is really all it's cracked up to be? Or will Bull realize that it's finally time to atone for his relentless horniness? I'm so sorry that's the way I had to describe it. That's literally the plot of the movie. Now before I rip this movie to shreds, let me just talk about the best thing about it. The animation. Genndy Tartakovsky has always been, in my opinion, one of the leaders of traditional Western animation. We're talking the guy that gave us Samurai Jack, Primal, and the original beautiful Star Wars: The Clone Wars. The man has a track record of straight up masterpieces, and apparently this has been a passion project of his for almost 20 years. You can definitely feel that in the animation. Every character is fluid, expressive, and loaded with personality. The colors pop, the movement is smooth, and it's traditional 2D animation, which is becoming way too rare nowadays. Like I said, if I can say anything positive about this movie, it's just that it looks fantastic. I also thought this voice cast brought some heat, specifically Idris Elba.
We're gonna go out there and suck every bit of fun out of those before you lose them.
Who gives Rocco this grounded, gruff energy, but still with great comedic timing that feels almost too good for this material. And he was definitely the character that always made me smile or laugh. Kathryn Hahn has her moments, and Bobby Moynihan and Fred Armisen bring their usual weird charm. And that's about where the compliments end, because what the hell, Tartakovsky? This movie is just barely disguised fetish fuel, and watching it feels less like watching an adult animated comedy and more like watching a video that you stumbled onto on accident on a cursed website. The dialogue feels like it was written by a middle schooler that just learned what sex is and just learned their first swear words. And the sheer amount of dog sex and nudity here is just relentless. I can handle raunchy humor, especially when there's a point to it and there's a good punchline. Sausage Party worked for me because of its satirical edge and because it had action set pieces that actually worked and were very clever, like the Saving Private Ryan parody or the action climax. Fixed, though, it's just one raunch-filled, ball shot, butt shot, hump everything in sight gag after another. And none of it has much payoff behind, haha, look how horny these dogs are. Man, by the time the credits rolled, I felt gross. The main character, Bull, doesn't help much either.
This is not that!
What do you call it?
I don't know what to call it, but it isn't sex.
He's loud, annoying, insecure, constantly talking, constantly thrusting. Just an absolute headache of a lead. I like Adam Devine. I think his stand-up is funny. I think he can be really funny in the right role, but him as Bull was just unbearable. Imagine the most obnoxious, pushover guy you've ever met, but as an animated dog. There are little glimpses of character death sprinkled in here and there. Bull's crush on Honey, Fetch dressing up as a human, or Rocco's nipple complex from his mommy issues. Yes, really, and that's one of the funniest parts of the movie. But those ideas never really get that much development aside from a few throwaway gags. And it's frustrating because I feel like if the movie pulled on those threads a little bit more, it might have given this raunch some emotional weight to balance it all out. Look at Good Boys. That movie thrived on raunchy humor, but the friendship between the kids led to some genuinely heartfelt moments. By the end of that movie, you felt something. Here, not really. Just gross out comedy on repeat until the fade to black. And let's talk about the length. It's short, barely an hour and a half, but for a movie where the joke is essentially dog has balls, dog will lose balls, look how horny these dogs are, it just drags it out like it's trying to turn a bad SNL sketch into a feature film. Every scene goes on way too long, so many jokes repeat until they lost all punch, and the energy just sinks deeper and deeper into cringe territory as the runtime goes on. And then there's the villain problem. Well, actually, the lack of one. There's no real conflict besides Bull is horny and tomorrow he probably won't be. I mean, there is a prize show dog that's supposed to mate with Honey, voiced by Beck Bennett, but he's barely a presence in the movie. That all might work as a 15-minute short, but as a 90-minute film, no thank you. At the end of the day, Fix feels like Tartakovsky mistook adult for gross, and the result is easily one of the worst movies I've seen so far this year. Outside of some gorgeous animation, a couple scattered laughs, and a standout voice performance from Idris Elba, this movie has nothing going for it. Annoying characters, dialogue that sounds like it was written in middle school detention, gross out scene after gross out scene with no real heart to ground them, and Adam Devine shouting his way through a brain-meltingly bad lead role. Unless you're a 13-year-old boy with unsupervised Netflix access, this isn't funny, it's just embarrassing. Whew, and that's my review of Fixed. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. I said it at the beginning. Please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I post a new review. While you're at it, you can scroll down the description below, find the links to my socials, leave a like, let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought, please. And if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. I'll take you to my review of Nobody 2, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of Caught Stealing.